Investing is much like a job hunt. Evaluating if you think a future employer's corporate culture fits with your own culture is a very important part of the process. Well, in today's episode of The Pitch, you're going to discover how investing in companies with a good corporate culture can also make you big profits. I'm Hans Lee of Livewire Markets. Thank you for joining us. And joining me to discuss this very topic is Ryan Quinn of WCM Investment Management. Ryan, let's just start with this. How would you define culture, and what makes a good corporate culture?
So I think those are two tough questions that we wrestled with when we first started this endeavor. And what makes a good corporate culture? The answer is it depends. Because if you own a railroad, or if you own a high-tech business, or you own a life science business, or you own a materials company, the culture, you can't say, use this good culture and it'll work, right? Because those are different businesses. So what we learned very early on is that creating a framework to use when analyzing a corporate culture was the most important thing. And so what we did was we did work on understanding how a company's culture can correlate to business outcomes. And so the things that we fell upon that we decided were most important is that the company's culture is aligned with its competitive advantage. Because company's culture will define employee behavior. Employee behavior defines business outcomes. So that alignment is key. The second piece is its strength. It has to be strong and broad across the entire firm. It can't just be understood by the CEO and the chief compliance officer and the chief operating officer. It has to be everyone from the front door all the way to the top floor. And then the last piece is adaptability. We're owning businesses for a long time. They're going to grow. That'll create internal threats. Typically, if they're doing a good job, competitors will enter the space. Those are external threats. So what we want to be able to find are cultures that are well-aligned, strong, and adaptable.
Why is it important for WCM to have a team of analysts that look specifically at corporate culture?
We benefited at WCM by focusing on our own healthy corporate culture. And once we decided we wanted to use that lens into the investing world, we're very clearly taking qualitative information, right? And so it's hard to take qualitative information and then make quantitative decisions. And we don't have a scoring process. It's not a light shade, green to red. It's not a grade lettering scoring system. It's truly an analysis company by company, basis by basis. And so what we wanted to be able to do was find ways to understand businesses to help us own them for a longer period of time. And focusing on our own corporate culture was really where that was born out of.
Okay, interesting. So with that all said then, what are some examples of corporate culture red flags?
Red flags really are very company specific because when we underwrite the culture of the company, our team, and going back to kind of your previous question, the team is separate because we want to make sure it gets the light and attention that it deserves. It takes a very long time to understand the fundamentals of a business. You're typically not only looking at that company, you're looking at competitors, you're looking at the overall competitive landscape. You're making a lot of assumptions about what you think the business can do. And so we did not want at the end do that culture work, check the box. We wanted it to be standalone, so it was really a powerful tool for us. So by doing that, we have very in-depth views into different businesses and understand what makes that company tick, because those things can change over time. And so that's where a red flag will arise. If we go through, do a exhaustive data set of culture work on the business, and when we're paying attention to the company as it goes, if we're noticing that a piece of that culture is deteriorating, or disappearing, or worse yet, even changed, that's when a red flag appears. Because generally, if a company is hard charging, cutthroat, and very competitive, those sound kind of red flaggy. But the reality is sometimes that's what's necessary to make a specific type of company grow and be excellent. So it comes back to the alignment of the culture with the competitive advantage. And if those characteristic traits make the competitive advantage grow, then those are not red flags, those are green flags.
Putting that together then, can you give us a couple of examples of current portfolio holdings that rank really highly from that culture perspective?
Sure. Just off the top of my head, Arthur J. Gallagher is an insurance brokerage business based in the U.S. They actually, in the 1980s, their CEO penned down 25 different attributes called the Gallagher Way. And it's an insurance brokerage business, right? And so I'd be stretched to find 25 ways to be, a great insurance broker. But they recognized how important culture was to their ability to grow as a business. It's a competitive environment in this space, and AJ Gallagher will tend to focus on these small and mid-sized businesses. So they've carved a niche out for themselves. And so their culture is one that is very sales oriented. So they want to support all their sales team that goes out and tries to grow the business in this very sort of niche area of the market. And secondly, they're extremely client centric. So they really care about the relationship they have with their underlying clients, and they really try to build that relationship over time. And so rather than just kind of churning through and making sales quotas and making the numbers, they generally want to build these long-term relationships with their clients and be very client-centric.
An insurance business with a good corporate culture. You'll learn something new every day, everyone. Ryan Quinn of WCM, thanks very much for sharing those stories with us. And thank you for joining us for The Pitch. If you enjoyed that interview, you can subscribe to the Livewire Markets website as well as our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.